They're there. Gentlemen, I want to grab you. I don't know, you can come if you want, Bennett, I don't care. Owen has Paladin Woodworking. I think literally he's just trying to recreate what Scott made. Yes. Yeah. Jason, over under, what do you think the chances are that Owen is able to match Paladin Woodworking's
first go at it. Scott's laser work is very good.
It is very good.
It's like very good.
It's very good.
Owen's is also very good. I don't think quite as good. I'm thinking it's probably going to be pretty close.
Hey-oo.
Whoa!
So this is the...
Scott made this.
Scott made this.
This is the Scott original.
Scott original. This is another Scott original. It wasn't glued up and there's no magnets.
Shit.
Yeah. That's not his fault. That's just disassembled for testing purposes. This is me. I don't have magnets and my maple is too thick so they don't fit perfectly. So like this one's too tight.
Didn't Scott send you slats or no?
He only sent me 1/4 inch maple. He didn't send me the track.
One sec, I gotta like look at this. So this one right here, this is fresh off the laser, no post-processing?
Yes.
No sanding, no glue, no
Gotcha.
finish.
Oh, okay. And whereas this is his...
He's varnished it, he's cleaned everything up, glued it,
Well, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
On Scott's product, does he send it assembled or is it a DIY assembly that the customer is supposed to...
Assembled.
That has to be part of this process, is us figuring out, okay, what's the assembly time, what's the blah, 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 blah. Jason, what is your initial assessment in terms of the quality of Scott's versus ours?
I would say the fidelity is very good. Like the crispness of the engravings, his are blacker, which is technically worse. Right? That means that, like you're burning and it's inefficient.
On the side, like you can see the grain on the one I did, whereas his have that char.
Like, look at like the hammer and the text. Scott's right here is just like blacker and darker. There's more contrast.
So you overall think that
I think we're very much on the right track.
Yeah.
The next time, Owen, record how long is cutting and how long is engraving. With this depth, I bet you 90% is engraving time.
Yeah. No, the cut is like that.
What do you think, Dougie?
Cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic. I think Owen and Evan can solve these problems. What I'm really looking forward to for the final analysis is laser cycle time, assembly cycle time, and pricing guidelines, and Scott's licensing fee. So you have to take all those things and you have to balance that equation to actually have an actual functional business. But so far, I think we'll get there. Right. And then we launch Kickstarter. I think this is probably a $300,000 to $500,000 Kickstarter. Yeah.
Is it only these two woods?
I like maple and Purdue. I think it's a nice combo.
I think we just stick with that.
It's easy.
They both engrave very well. They're very legible.
I think black walnut is a good one too. Cherry might be a phenomenal one to add to it.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that. But what I am interested in is, did So Go Go get a bump from Wyrm Lyfe?
Yes, we did get a bump. It was great. Thank you so much, everybody. Like on Instagram alone, we think we gained like 20 some odd followers in like the 24 hours after the video.
20 followers is nothing. That's garbage.
We gotta get you to like 10K.
Hey, I'm for it.
SoSoBandBand.com. Go there, subscribe. Is that actually it?
SoSoBandBand.com.
Hey, got it, nailed it.
Number one fan.
New band manager.
There's a lot here.
Look at this.
Owen, you've been busy.
He's been kicking ass.
I did this kind of the past 2 days.
So, you want a hot dog?
I'm gonna have poutine later.
You should. I've had poutine 4 days this week.
Wow.
Jeez.
I'm on like a strict poutine diet.
How you feel?
I feel like I've had a stroke.
That's great. I know a lot of times when we're doing Wyrm Lyfe segments and stuff like that, we kind of are like trying to do things that are good for the content. I don't want to do that here. I just want to open up conversation and actually just talk. Don't do anything for the camera. We basically are the top of the company right now when it comes to this. Like Jason has nothing to do with this in terms of infrastructure, and Doug just walked out. He has no influence over this project. So it's pretty much just us. I want to answer all of these by the time this meeting is over. The first one is, are we even launching a campaign? If the answer is yes, what are the offerings? Because we have an insane spread. And what design changes need to happen. This is mostly aesthetic stuff. For example, like in these, everything shouldn't be a serif font. We should have some primary and secondary text on here. I think some of the dials are really busy, things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then Ed actually added this last one, which is very important, which is when the hell is this even happening if it is? So this is all a system, like these all work with one another.
Correct. Everything's based on the tile system. But my thought was I'd like to be able to offer you guys at least kind of different tiers, depending how much someone might want to invest. So I basically come up with 4 different units that someone could look at using the tiles with.
So the system is all of these different custom engraved tiles that all represent different classes and things like that. And then there are 4 bodies that accept the tiles.
Correct.
For now, let's focus on this stuff. I'm seeing 4 products, 2 and 2. They look very similar. So the first thing in my head as I'm going is, we definitely don't need 4 of these SKUs. This is limiting because most people want 4 instead of 3.
And it doesn't have a rolling tray.
And this one's 4.
That one's 4, but no dice storage.
Is there anything stopping us from combining these 2 things?
No, I could design that in a day. I guess the other thought I had was this being so slim, is it easier to put in a backpack and carry with you to the game night? I don't know if you guys see utility
Oh, that's
in
this. Oh, that's a lid.
Yeah, it's a lid.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a lid, but then you flip it around when you're playing and just stores underneath.
That's nice. I like that. My D&D players over here. What are your thoughts here?
I would probably use the slimmer one personally, just because I work at Wyrmwood and I have a dice tray and I have storage and all of that.
I right off the bat gravitate towards the slimmer one for all of the functional reasons.
Just aesthetically, that one jumps out as more us.
Regardless of which one we choose here, the higher priced item will have storage in it. The actual only other thing I really like about this, I think this is really cool. I love how you can have like a...
You remembered that.
It gives it like a slight tilt, and I think it actually is nicer to look at when you're playing. We couldn't have this feature on this one, right, because of the lid.
It wouldn't close right.
Right.
No, actually.
All right, designers, all right.
This falls within here, so I could.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think if we completely take this SKU, get rid of it, get this feature in this, and I think that as like the entry level piece,
Massively.
That's huge. All right, great. Now we got these guys. The thought here is rolling surface and storage. I love this. That's so fun to me.
So it's got dice.
It's a dice jail. So you put it in there, and it's like a little brig. You know what I mean?
That's great.
It's awesome.
So that also has a card holder. I don't know if that's an important thing or not, but that's the only component here with the card holder on it.
I don't think the card holder is super necessary.
I
The
don't
amount
either.
of spell cards you need to actually accomplish anything in D&D is obscene. Like our card tiles are garbage for D&D. They just do not work.
This is your premier holy shit package. This is like everything that you could need. This is your character sheet. This is a rolling surface and storage.
Does the big one have the dice jail
I was just
feature?
wondering that.
It doesn't, no.
It could, but that's the main difference between these two.
The features need to go up the higher, the more money they're spending. So like, I would say that this shouldn't have a dice jail. This should. Who here thinks that we should nix one of these, and who here thinks that we should offer both?
I usually lean towards skew heavy, which is bad, but I do like both with the caveat no card tray on either one and jail on the primo.
I like having 3 options and 3 different price points. That seems like a good spread. Now, these are essentially useless without this, right? No one would just be like, I just want 1 tile.
I would use a single tile, I think.
Yeah, I think there are going to be people that are just like, oh, I just want to track my HP with one of these.
I love it just for the easy low dollar buy-in.
That too. Plus, anybody who already has any of your products that want to help support and just want a new tile or 2, boom, there it is.
Yeah. What's the deal with the wall hanger cutting board thing? Like,
That's just your apparatus for getting them around?
Exactly. Well, I've had a few people ask if they could buy this too, like to hang it on the wall.
Oh, that's interesting.
So are these magnetically in there?
Yeah, it's the same
So you can literally like,
Oh, that's nice.
this is the equivalent of like showing up to a D&D with like you're like handcuffed to a briefcase with like money, you know what I mean?
Put down your other end. D&D badass.
Damn, dude.
I think as a stretch goal, this is badass. All right, so is everyone happy and feel good about what we're offering and what we've said so far? Yeah. Fantastic. My idea here is not to go, all right, let's do our best to try and take away the things that make it look like Paladin Woodworking and make it look more Wyrmwood. However, I'm not a fan of things like this. I'm not a fan of things like this. Just like the over embellishments, I just don't like. I think it makes everything look like when you're looking at this, holy fucking shit. There is a lot of stuff going on here. I'd like to reduce the flavor of all of these so that utility-wise, these are more intuitive. Specifically like looking at these. I see the dragon before I even realize that this is like a counter. So when people are looking at these that are just supposed to be function, I want the function to be insanely clear. I love these little things, like you got a gun here, and you got a ranger, like an archer here. You got this guy falling to his death, I think. And then you got this
little Bobby,
little wushu guy. Oh,
Sensei Bobby.
Oh shit!
Don't do anything for the camera.
The thing I need most as a designer is an editor, because I tend to go way the hell overboard. So you're not gonna offend me by saying we gotta like simplify this stuff.
I like the aesthetic of all this stuff. Like I still want your eye and I just think it needs to just be slightly less.
Yeah.
So when is any of this happening? I would like March. With that amount of time, where the hell's Owen?
You just step up for a second.
Oh. Are you confident in that amount of time to adjust and get the designs and the
No problem.
Great. So when is any of this happening? March, we got it. So, are we launching a campaign? Owen. Pretty much up to him, but he's not here. Let's just say we are. Let's just say we are. Great.